Welcome guys to musicstudios.co.nz. This is the Hamilton version. We're excited to be in Hamilton with Red Room Audio.
That's it.
How's it going, Dean?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Firstly, we're very excited to be here.
Oh, it's good to have you here.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, cheers for coming. Yeah.
Red Room Audio, tell us about the name behind your studio.
That came from a big red room that was in the house that I first started doing this in. That was after I left Musicare Studios and I went to work at home, you know.
Yep.
And the bands and that were coming over just started to refer to it as the Red Room because it was the whole room was red, you know. So
yeah.
Red Room Audio became the name.
It's carried the theme on. You've got the nice red plush seats.
Yeah, there's not much red
background.
up here. There's a red mat, red seats.
There's enough red to call it Red Room.
There's more red in the actual live room, but yeah, it's a sort of appropriate name for this environment, yeah.
That's cool. Tell us about yourself as a musician, audio engineer. How did you get started?
How did I get started? Well, it's stretching the memory. I got into playing guitar. I think that's where it started when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated with electronics as well. So when I was leaving high school, I thought I would go to Polytech and do NZCE in electronics. So that brought me to Hamilton. And while I was here studying that, obviously make friends, and one of those guys told me about School of Audio, which was in Auckland and Parnell.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that sounds a bit more like what I want to do. You know, electronics was cool, but I couldn't see myself working in that field as a career. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finished up doing that, and then went to School of Audio, and did their diploma course, which was about 18 months.
Cool.
While I was doing that, I moved down to Hamilton. I originally come from Whangarei, so I was living up there, and then I came down here and got a job at Musicare, which is a live sound hireage company that had a recording studio as well, up the north end of Hamilton. Yeah, worked there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Did heaps of live sound. Heaps of studio work. Got quite a bit of experience. So a lot of my learning was done there.
Yeah.
You know, you learn a lot at school, but it's not until you hit the big wide world that you really start to learn. You know, so Musicare was a big learning phase for me.
Cool.
From there, I went freelance live sound. Worked at the casino, and I've gigged all around the country, all kinds of bands, and I set up at home in the house that had the Red Room, and that was just with some pretty basic gear. I had this old console and a few other gadgets, and just started recording bands.
Cool. What sort of bands? What are you into in terms of musical?
What am I into?
Bands that you've been recording.
I'm pretty open-minded, but generally speaking, pretty heavy sort of music. When I was a little teenager, I was a real bogan, you know, right into heavy metal and all that sort of stuff.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, hence the guitar sort of fascination, and So that's, for me personally, you know, that's my kind of preference. But in terms of what I like to work on, anything goes. I just get a buzz out of music in general.
Cool.
When I was at Musicare, we did a lot of country music stuff.
That's cool.
The boss there had Neil Reynolds was his name. He had a record label called Peak Records, and people like Joy Adams were signed to that, and we had guys like Richie Pickett and Brendan Dugan and people like that come through the studio. John Grinnell. Those kind of people. So I got to work with some pretty awesome musos there, doing country stuff, you know, and I was into that, you know, it was cool. So anything goes, really.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
Nice melody and good beats.
Yeah. The biggest buzz for me is actually listening to musicians be awesome.
Yeah.
great playing and great performances, you know, gets the hairs up on
Exactly
your back.
right.
You know, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, no, awesome.
Yeah.
What's sort of some of the stuff that you're currently working on, upcoming things?
Doing an album at the moment with a couple of guys called the Morgan Brothers. Actually friends of mine from way back. They're getting guys from all over the country. One of them is from Nelson. Another guy's local. The drummer is coming from Rotorua. There's guys from Tauranga, all around the place.
They all come to Hamilton.
Yeah. They've spent, I don't know, 18 months or something like that writing an album, just the two brothers.
Cool.
And then, you know, we have weekends organised where we all get together. Everyone sort of turns up here and we work on a few tracks and a few songs, and then it's we leave it alone, and you know, a couple of months later they come back and we carry on. So it's been an ongoing thing.
Cool.
So that's happening at the moment. I've been doing a bit of work for a local band called they're called Freefall.
Freefall.
Yeah. Mixing and mastering. They do their recordings at home. They've got a little setup at home, and they bring their recordings here, and I mix and master.
Yep.
Other than that, I've just been doing things like voiceovers and that kind of stuff. Cassette transfers and vinyl transfers. I've got a record player up there.
Nice.
Things like that. That's been what's happening lately. But yeah, there's been all kinds of stuff go through here.
Sounds busy. Sounds awesome.
That's good.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favourite, some of your favourite, I mean, you work with a lot of musicians, but any upcoming musicians that you're like, man, these guys are awesome, everyone should know about them? Is anyone?
Yeah, there's one group that springs to mind. I recorded these guys about, it must be 3 years ago now. So obviously they're 3 years older. At the time they were around sort of 16, 17, 18. And they had a really, it's quite aggressive, hardcore, heavy metal band that they were working on, and they came and did a bunch of stuff here and blew me away with their musicianship. How good they were at that age.
How old were they?
Well, yeah, around 17, 18. I think one of them was old enough to get into a bar at the time. So I don't know if they were gigging a lot, but they were just a bunch of
really
high school guys
good,
that had got together and wrote some really intricate, interesting music. You know, big, long, epic songs. You know, 6-7 minutes long. Take you on a roller coaster ride. You know.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. They were called Seeking Substance, which I think is a cool name too. I think they've since disbanded and all the members are off doing different things, but that's something that springs to mind because they blew me away with how good they were. You know? Yeah. Yeah, and recently had, a while ago now, a guy called Derek Shaw and Alan Grady come and do a track. Alan's a fantastic drummer. He used to be in Nightshade and he's played in all kinds of bands. He's playing in probably about 10 bands at the moment.
Right.
You know, he's a real busy guy. And he's incredible. So that was good.
That's awesome. Hey, so you've got, your studio is really amazing in my opinion.
Thanks.
What was the, I guess, what did you start with?
What did I start
How long
with?
have you been doing this for?
About 20 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, about 20 years. Well, that's when I went to School of Audio. I think I would have been 20, 21. Something like that when I did that. So I'm 42 now, so 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And I got this from Musicare.
That's awesome.
Paid like $2,000 for it or something. It's been completely serviced and all that now, so it works like new.
Yeah. And it sounds great.
It sounds really good, yeah. But that's what I started with. I bought that and these old things, and I think it was a G3 Macintosh computer, and the first 001 Pro Tools system, which I think I've still got somewhere.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. I think I had a couple of effects units, Pro Tools, analog desk, a couple of speakers.
Were you printing to tape or
No, it was like to CD.
to CD?
Yeah, yeah. Everything straight to hard disk and then burning CDs
Oh,
and
wow.
whatnot from there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was how it started out, and that's where my sort of relationship with this thing started.
Yeah.
So I've kept it since. It's probably the only thing that's remained.
Yeah.
Um,
It looks like a beautiful console. How would you describe the sound of this console?
weighty.
Weighty.
Yeah, I like recording drums with it because it adds a lot of meat to the sound.
Yep.
It has that analog warmth, although when you hear that word, you kind of think that the high end is rolled off, which is not the case. There's still plenty of top end response in that, but it has a low mid sort of a thickness about the sound.
Right.
Pretty much anything that goes through it sounds meatier
Yep.
than than if you go straight into the digital console, for example.
Yep.
So that's the main reason why I've kept it, is for recording drums.
Yep.
I don't mix through it at the moment. All the mixing's done in the digital environment. It's mainly just a recording tool at the moment.
Yep.
But yeah, when I started working at home, it was the main thing. So I recorded and mixed through it. But yeah, that's kind of the guts with it. It's
It's a Soundtrack MIDI PC series.
yeah, it's similar to the console that Earwig has.
Right.
It's a bit smaller than that, and it's got a little MIDI computer, so you can automate parts of it, like the mutes and the solos.
Okay.
You can automate with your digital audio workstation. So
Are these flying faders or not?
no,
not quite
no, it's
there
not,
yet with
It's not full
technology.
automation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a half thing. So yeah, it's.
Are you sending out to Outboard with this as well? I mean, that's what you did to start with.
Yeah, all this.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah, to your left, all the racks here, all that stuff's patched into this.
Into this one?
Yeah. All of that is straight into this,
Yeah.
and this gadgetry over here is patched into this. So it's kind of, you can almost draw a line down the centre of the console. That's analog, side, and that's digital.
And that's digital.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us around some of the stuff that you're working with? And yeah, just show us a project, or maybe.
Yeah, well, this is totally unmixed.
Yep.
I just got this plugin that you see up there.
Oh, nice. Is that part of the UAD?
Yeah, it's with this.
Universal.
You use it with the Apollo interface. It's a 33609 bus compressor, a Neve compressor, which I wish had the real thing, but plug-in's the next best. So I just got that just last night, actually.
What are you using it on? Just to use your master?
I've just been playing around with parallel compression with drums.
Okay.
So that's why it's up there. I was just doing that when you guys turned up. But this track is it's one of the ones with the Morgan brothers. One of the songs that we're working on. And with this, everything was recorded using this.
Right.
Some of the guitar tracks were straight into the Apollo with a Neve 1073 plugin that you can run live.
Yep.
Otherwise, I use the Valve Pre's over there and the analog console.
Okay.
It's totally unmixed at the moment. I've just been playing around. But song's called Statue. Oh, there's a cool delay on the vocal that I've been playing with as well. Another new plugin.
Plugin.
Yeah.
UAD as well.
No, it's from the Plugin Alliance.
Plugin lines.
Yeah. I'm a member of that. I get quite a lot of their stuff. It's quite good plugins.
I like it. Who's the singer?
A guy called Rodney Morgan. He's from down in Nelson.
Nice.
He does a lot of busking, and I think he's got like a string quartet. They do a lot of busking.
Right.
He's a really talented musician.
Nice vocals.
Yeah, good vocals. Yeah. He's playing all the guitar parts.
Okay.
Drummers from Rotorua. Bass player from here.
This is excellent quality. Yeah. This is awesome.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good song. I think the song is.
Song is key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's key. Yeah, I think it's a really good song. It's got a real solid driving feel about it, which is what he wanted to achieve. You know, given that the song is called Statue, he wanted it to have a statuesque kind of a vibe about it. So it doesn't chop and change very much. It stays very solid, you know.
Yeah.
Which is I quite like that.
Driving.
Yeah, there's a lot of air in the song and how they've written it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to balls it up, really, in terms of engineering it, you know. But yeah, that's gives you an idea of the recording quality before a mix is done.
Sounds fantastic. Yeah.
But yeah, when I go to mix it, I'll break it out into the 32 channels on here.
Yeah. Right.
This is really layered. You see 16 channels there, but it's actually a 48 channel console.
Right.
And it's got a 32 channel interface inserted into the back of it, in a card form, which connects to Pro Tools, and so I can have 32 channels out here, and do heaps of subbing and grouping and whatnot. You've got EQ, compression. It's got awesome effects inside it. So you get the flexibility and power of Pro Tools combined with this. So you can get really involved when it comes to mixing.
Cool.
And these things here are patched in. The Lexicon and the TC, they're patched in here as well, so you can play with those.
So Lexicon's a reverb and TC's multi-effects? Or?
Yeah, they're both multi-effects.
Oh,
the Lexicon, that's the MPX 550, so it's does everything, choruses, blah blah blah. Nice reverbs. And the TC is the M1, which also really good reverbs. All kinds of cool toys to play with inside those things.
Yeah, right.
I don't really have any favourite presets or anything. No. They're just they're there for when I'm looking for something else, something extra.
Yeah.
Because you can do so much inside of Pro Tools and in here. Most of the time, the mix environment is literally Pro Tools in here, and occasionally it stretches out to the.
So you're adding those multi-effects posts after you've tracked.
Yeah, I don't use them.
Send it back out.
I don't use them for tracking or anything.
No.
It's just purely for mixing. Excuse me.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's the main workflow. Is everything's recorded via analog and mixed digitally. This old girl is not used anymore. It used to be the interface that I used, but I now have the interface that's in here and also the Apollo. So the Apollo and the Lucid combined to give me the channels I need on the analog console.
Right.
Along with the Rosetta here. So it gives me 18 channels of analog console straight into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
And if I need more, I can stretch it out to here and use both interfaces.
Is this PC, Mac?
It's a Macintosh.
Mac, yeah.
Yeah, it's hidden away down under there.
Yeah. And so the Apollo's Firewire or USB? How does it connect to your...
Firewire 800.
Firewire.
It's the big fat Firewire.
Yeah, the big
cable. It's got the they call it Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
It's got that stuff on the back.
How you connect it to your Mac? No.
No, I'm using excuse me, I'm using the Firewire. This is a slightly older Mac. I think it's the last one they made before the Thunderbolt stuff came out.
Yeah.
So I just missed out on that.
Yeah.
but it's no loss because it works fine
Yeah, exactly.
as it is. The interface that's in here is obviously Firewire as well.
I'm not familiar with the Tascam. Show us around sort of the main uses.
Well, yeah, you've just got all your multiple layers, like, so that's channels 1 to 16, 17 to 32. These are all your return channels, buses, auxiliaries, and then you've got the remote layer, which controls Pro Tools.
I see.
So you can scroll through all the channels there.
Oh, that's cool.
See the faders moving, so you don't really have to use the mouse while you're playing around with mutes and solos and fades and stuff like that. You can do that all here, which to me feels a bit more natural.
You can get really hands-on, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't control plugins
No.
with this, so you're still on the mouse when you're using plugins. But but that's basically the guts of it. I mean, you've got EQs. There's an EQ section on a channel, so it's 4-band, fully parametric. You've got dynamics, gates, compressors, all that sort of stuff, auxiliary sends, and then your setup options, channel delays, phasing, pans, digital trim, all that kind of stuff. And it's got 2 effects units inside of it. One of them is a TC Works, which I think is somehow connected to TC Electronics. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it's really awesome. Really, really lush reverbs and
Nice.
all kinds of cool stuff. And then it's got a second, simpler effects unit, which is a Tascam, something that they've taken from a rack mount Tascam unit.
Yep.
Couldn't tell you what exactly. And that's pretty good as well, quite usable effects. The reverbs aren't so good, but the delays and choruses and stuff like that are really good.
Nice.
So yeah, it's quite a handy little unit.
Nice big meter bridge as well, and just
Yeah.
really visual. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it has
Looks
metering
beautiful.
software as well that you can bring up on the computer, and it gives you, obviously you can't monitor every signal on the meter bridge at once, but on the software it gives you everything.
I see.
So yeah, so it's a pretty cool little unit.
Love it.
Yeah, I quite like it.
That's awesome. You got nice, nice big Rocket 10 monitors.
Yeah. Yeah, they're actually quite
I mean,
new.
it's not common to have 8s, but you have a 10.
I got the 10s, yeah, 3-way. Yeah, I
Nice.
wanted something quite different from these.
Yeah.
I've had these things for years, and the old Behringer
The
Truth
Truths.
monitors. They're not exactly high-end speakers, but I reckon they sound quite good, and I've gotten really used to them, you know.
Yeah.
So I know them quite well. And I wanted something that was a little bit sort of polar opposite when I got these. So I can, excuse my chair there, when I'm mixing, I can monitor both here and here.
I see. Yeah.
So I can,
How do you control the monitor levels? Is it through this as well?
yeah, well, you've just got your control room output there.
Yep. So that's
And
that one, or that's your main
That's
KR
for up
case.
here, and then I've got another interface here,
Yep.
which is digitally connected from the desk,
Right, and
and
you
that drives these speakers.
drive those ones. Yep.
So I just flick between the two. I just hit a button there and then hit a button here, and these ones turn on.
Awesome.
So that's the guts of it, really. Yeah. So mixing in the digital domain, and then over there I do mastering.
This is is this a separate computer now?
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
old school PC down there.
Purely for mastering.
Yeah, it's got Wavelab 6 on it. Whole pile of plugins, Waves plugins, and all kinds of
Cool.
stuff. Yeah, so I do what little mastering that I do here, I do on that.
So are you bringing out a stereo file from this Mac, printing live?
Yeah,
to
I
that computer?
can do a bounce
Is that how
to
you do it?
disk in Pro Tools and bring the mix from here back into Pro Tools
Yeah.
and bounce it to a stereo file,
Yeah.
and then these are connected via a network, so I can just copy
Cool.
straight over to there, or I can just run the mix straight live from here into here, because there's a digital connection between the two, so there's no signal loss or anything like that. So
Awesome.
either way, yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
No, that covers this area of the studio. Other than you do have some headphone splitters as well.
yeah, that's
Very smart.
That's the headphone amp, little 6-channel thing. It's just a little alto unit.
No, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice little section there. So what about this section here? So this is all preamps and compressors, or?
Yeah. Okay.
And how do you integrate this to your setup?
Starting at top left, I suppose that Kitty Hawk Testarossa. That's a 4-channel valve pre for guitar.
Yeah.
That I bought years ago. It was one of my original guitar amp pieces. Just for guitar. Yeah, it's 4 channels. It goes from real clean and bluesy to crazy overdrive, for heavy metal kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that's used for. Patch bays.
Yeah.
Little valve pre here, little Studio Projects. Little cheap unit. I think you pick them up for $250 on Trade Me.
Yeah. Using it for
guitar and vocal. I find it adds a lot of sparkle to guitar, especially acoustic guitar.
Okay.
It's got this little blend control where if you've got it set fully on the left, it's a solid state pre, and if you dial it all the way to the right, then it brings in the valve circuitry.
Cool.
So you can find a nice blend and drive it quite hard, and it adds a lot of sparkle to acoustic guitars.
Okay.
Or if you're wanting a really aggressive male vocal, you can drive it really hard, and it gives you that nice saturation, especially when the vocalist really pushes it.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I find it quite good for that. It's probably the only 2 things that it is good for, but for $250, I think it's a pretty usable box.
Not bad.
And that's a Cambridge Audio preamp for the record player.
Okay.
And then you got a little
virtualizer.
Yeah, virtualizer. That's a Behringer or Behringer. I don't know how to say it.
Is that a multi-effects?
Yeah, it's a multi-effects. Okay. Yeah, it's hardly gets used, but it's got some really quite bizarre and unusual effects combinations in it.
Okay.
So when I'm looking for something weird, I might play around with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I love that.
Yeah, the AD100. Yeah, that's a really old school 80s analog delay. It's real dirty sounding. That's really good fun, and it creates. You can play with the repeat and the
like a Roland Space Echo style.
Yeah, sort of. It's a bit of a different vibe than that.
Yeah. Is this 80s, 90s?
Yeah, I would say it would have to be 80s, probably early 80s. Yeah. Yeah, it's really old.
It's beautiful.
You can get some really crazy sounds out of it when you run signals in and then you start playing with the knobs.
Yeah.
It'll give you like these really bizarre spaceship sounds. And It just goes completely out of control. So it's like, almost like an instrument in itself, It's really good fun.
Oh, that's fun.
And this thing here, just a bank of 8 compressors and limiters, little alto unit. Not very fancy, handy. Just pretty transparent.
Does the job.
It's just if I need something, a compressor or a gate or something, that's not going to colour the sound. That's where I go. It doesn't get used a great deal, but it's handy when you need it. Sonic Maximizer I find is quite cool for bass.
Is it for bass? Okay.
That's what I use it for. I've used it for all kinds of stuff, but I quite like it on bass guitar. Yeah.
And which part of the chain would you use that, or do you plug? How would you? Yeah. How does it all plug in?
Well, I'd probably patch it in into a channel on this
as a send out.
And while I'm mixing, I might send the bass to this through that, and then back and print it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I use that.
Cool.
I don't really use it to track with.
No.
It's something I play with in a mix. And then you've got the 527s down here, Yuri EQs, the
Nice.
1970 something, I think they were made. They're like a passive EQ, and they're transformer coupled on the input and the output.
Yeah.
So you get that cool transformer sound. You know, you can drive them quite hard, and they have a gentle sort of a saturation that they that you can get. So yeah, they've got that sort of old school tone. Excuse me. So I quite like them for room mics, stuff like that. Electric guitar, quite good for that. Don't use them on vocals or anything like that though.
No.
Okay. And then up here, well, that's the telephone.
You make phone calls with this, right?
Yeah, so I'm told.
This is before mobile phones. Can it text or? Anyway.
No. Okay, so and then there's a TL Audio Pre.
Yeah, nice.
It's a Pinto preamp, valve preamp. That's
it's beautiful.
It is. I think it's quite nice. It's not super high end, but it adds a nice sparkle, and it's got just a nice tone. Man. Vocals, almost anything's good through that.
Nice.
These three I've got connected in a chain.
I do.
So the output of this channel goes straight to this one.
Yeah.
Then straight to here.
Oh, okay, right.
So my room mics, if I'm recording a drum kit, stereo room mics will go through that pre, through the de-esser, not that I de-ess them, through that compressor, and then through these, and then into the console. But this is a 900 series DBX de-esser. It's got the 902 modules in it, which are the de-esser modules.
Yeah.
Really good for vocals or overly bright guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a nice little unit. These compressors are good for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You can crush drums through them and bring it back in parallel, or but light compression on vocals or guitar and bass, whatever. As you're tracking. The harder you use the compressor, the more valve vibe you get from them, which I kind of like that. It's quite cool. And then you've got the old Type C exciter.
What do you use that on?
That's probably vocals, acoustic guitar.
So is it
drums.
Exciting the high end? Is that what it does?
Yeah. Well, you can sort of tune it. You can change the frequency range. But yeah, it's sort of, I suppose it uses small amounts of distortion, saturation, that kind of thing,
so
and you can sort of dial it in.
So if you plug something in, does it come out brighter, or is it not that kind of box?
Effectively, to cut a long story short.
Okay.
It does, yeah.
Nice.
And then we got the old school Roland
digital delay. Oh, this looks like a beautiful piece of...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's just...
Looks like...
It's a mono unit.
Huh?
It's a mono unit.
Yeah.
But I print the output into Pro Tools, and you can actually create really layered, deep delays with it.
Yeah.
If you run a signal through it multiple times, change the delay slightly each time, it gets quite interesting. And then I've got the Rev 7 below that.
Oh, I love this.
Neat old reverbs, classic old reverbs.
90s reverb.
Yeah, man, really cool for...
Snare?
You got it. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. Snare drums. And there's a ambience effect that it has that I like on bass guitar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it has some other basic delays and phase effects and stuff like that in it. But essentially, it's a reverb unit.
Beautiful.
And then down here we got the Drawmer gates. They weren't working when I originally got them, but I've got them working. And have really never used them.
Okay.
Because you can do so much gating and whatnot in Pro Tools. You can gate.
I think that's one thing that you can do digitally is gate.
Yeah, well, I think you can do it in the digital domain. I think it's better to gate.
Yeah.
than to go analog.
Yeah.
Because it just seems to be so much more precise.
Yeah.
But if I need a gate, they're there.
It's there.
And they're actually really good gates.
Yep. Can you remember a project recently that you've used it on? Was it more?
To be honest, I don't think I've actually used them
Right.
tracking
Not.
since I've got them going. They're essentially sitting there filling rack space at the moment. So I don't know. I might flick those on at some point because they're just not really getting used.
Right. Yeah, I think that definitely gates are one thing that you can sort of get away with digitally.
Yeah.
Some nice selection of pedals.
A few
Very
little pedals.
cool.
Yeah.
I've heard so much hype about this one. Sorry.
The Sansamp amp. Yeah. Good bass pre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just direct from here.
Straight in. Yeah.
And it sounds wicked.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, you can do some pretty good bass tracks just by plugging a bass
Awesome.
straight into that and then going straight in. Yeah.
That's nice.
Adds a lot of drive, energy
Yeah.
to the sound. Really good straight into a decent bass amp as well.
Sweet.
Adds a whole new dimension to a bass sound. You know.
Mm-mm.
I think they're quite good. Then you got the old drum machine here.
Using this?
Not really. Not as I don't program with it. I'm using it as like a source of drum sounds.
Source,
yeah. So for layering samples over
Yep.
acoustic kits and stuff like that.
Yep.
I use it for that. There's probably about a dozen sounds in there that I quite like.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it stays there. And then these are just ABY and AB pedals for
Yeah. Splitting. And
for splitting signals.
I do like these Moors just because it's so small.
They're so tiny, yeah.
I've got the Moor wah pedal.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a wah pedal, it's just short, and then it sort of folds out, so you can.
Is that right?
Yeah, it
Oh, I
folds
haven't
out.
seen
and
that.
It's awesome. I really like these, and they're
So
not.
it's literally
not-
that big, is it?
It's that big, and it's got middle flaps here.
Yeah.
Right. But then if you want, you can take the middle flaps out, and it pulls out like that, and that way you've got more space for your foot.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
excellent.
I like it, and it's pretty inexpensive as well.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So that's just a little yellow comp, compressor.
Yeah,
Use that for obviously
Guitars and stuff.
compressing guitars into amps.
What's this?
That's a really
Never
old
heard of it.
school Ibanez Power Lead distortion pedal.
Oh, okay.
It gives you a real 80s metal sound.
Oh, right.
Doesn't really get used much,
Yeah,
but it's kind of a fun toy.
yeah.
And then you got this thing here, crazy flanger.
Flanger,
Yeah, that
makes
thing
this?
is just
Pearl.
out of control. Yeah,
the drum maker.
I think I picked it up for
Really?
about $20.
Oh, lucky you. Where'd you find this?
Oh, to be honest, I can't remember.
Can't
I've had
remember?
it for a long time.
But it still works fine, eh?
Yeah, it works fine. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
I would love to find that for $20.
it's a crazy sound. Yeah, and then
Now we're getting into some serious business now.
a few guitar amps there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is a nice selection. Tell us about your amps.
Well, this is a little Vox Night Train. Little, I think, what are they? 15 watts or something like that. Little all valve amp. Quite a high gain little unit. Sounds really good through this thing. And I've got a 4x10 quad down in the live room, which that amp seems to really suit. Sounds really good. You get pretty much any sound from clean jangly pop to blues to rock to heavy metal. It's a really versatile little amp.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing here is probably my favourite of the three, the Heritage AC30. All
Is it
valve.
plugged in?
Yeah, plugged in. Although it's not. There's no speaker around here though.
Oh, yeah.
The speaker's downstairs. Yeah, so it's a non-master volume amp. Yeah, all valve, hand wired, made exactly like they used to make the Voxes back in the 50s.
Yeah, nice.
So
I
it's-
love Vox amps, eh?
I think the guitars on the track I just played were through that. So effectively, you've heard it.
Yeah, right. Are you miking this?
Yeah, there's a speaker down in the live
Oh,
room.
it's actually in the live room? Okay,
yeah, there's a
no,
cable
cool.
that goes all the way down there.
Oh,
so,
wow, okay. Yep.
so I have the amps here, and then have the mics and speakers in the live room.
Okay.
So the guitar player can sit here and we can talk and
Yeah, right.
discuss
But
the
you're
track.
still recording that sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's smart.
And there's a Dr. Z attenuator there.
Yeah.
just to control the volume. There's no master volume on it.
Yeah.
So if you want a high gain sound, you've got to turn it right off the stopper, which is loud, so the attenuator cuts it back a bit. And then down there you've got, actually it wasn't meaning to do that. Then you've got the Custom Classic down there, which is a sort of a more modern take on an AC30.
Nice.
Once again, all valve, although it's not hand wired. It's got a cool tremolo and a cool reverb on it, so quite like that. Gets quite a bit of use.
Awesome. This is a very nice feel, this guitar, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Just one of your main axes?
that's my main one. Yeah, that's my baby. You can probably tell because the frets are quite worn. It's had
Can
the
you play us a little something as a demo?
Oh, I don't know
I'll
about
hold
that.
your coffee.
Well, I'm not much of a player, but no, it's just a. Yeah, just a good blues sound, Heaps of sustain.
Yeah.
It's obviously not a Gibson; it's a Vesta, which I don't know whether you remember them from.
Where are they manufactured?
They're a Japanese company.
Wow. Okay.
And they used to rip off a whole lot of classic guitars,
Did
like
they?
Fenders and
Yeah.
these things, and they went out of business because they were making copies that were too close to the original.
Right.
So they got sued quite a few times, and they actually went out
So
of
if you
business.
find a Vesta, go for it. You reckon?
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I've a lot of guys have played this that actually own Gibson Les Pauls
Yeah.
and prefer this.
Oh wow.
It's made of all the same wood.
Yeah.
The electronics are different. The pickups are a lot hotter than you'll find in a general, typical Les Paul. So, yeah, it's quite a fat, grunty sound.
Cool.
But yeah, I've had that for years. I bought that from Keith McMillan, Stringed Instruments. Used to be in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Years back. I don't know whether he's still around, but yeah, that's a bit of a favourite toy. Yeah, and then over the back there you've got a bit of a little digital drum kit.
This is cool. I like this.
Yeah, it's old school, but it's fun,
stuff. I can't play drums, but so
I
are you
sort of can.
You sort of can. You're a lot better on drums than guitar, maybe.
I'm pretty rough on either. I'm more of an engineer than a musician.
Yeah.
I'd say my musician skills go not much past hobbyist,
Yeah. With this drum thing, are you running a particular software like Addictive Drums or something?
I use the sounds in it,
Okay.
and I also use it to trigger stuff that I've got in.
So what's your favourite drum software?
There's a few in there actually. I don't really have any
Addictive
favourites.
Drums is a good one.
I don't have that. I have what is it called? I forget the name now. BFD.
I was gonna say BFD.
Just thought of it as I grabbed the mouse there.
Yeah. I was trying. What's the name? BF something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BFD.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I use that. Quite like that.
Yeah,
It's got some good sounds in it, and you can buy all kinds of additional kits and whatnot to add to it. So I use that. But yeah, I actually use the sounds in that thing quite a bit.
In this Yamaha itself.
The only thing I don't really like about digital kits are the cymbals.
Yeah.
Hi-hats and crashes just
Doesn't sound
fake.
like. Yeah. But everything else is fine.
Yeah. If you want to create a sound digitally that sounds like an acoustic kit, you're not really going to achieve that with a digital kit.
It's like hardware and plugins. Although plugins are getting pretty good.
Plugins are a lot closer than that to an acoustic drum kit.
I know what you mean with the cymbals thing there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Man. Holy moly.
So it's just it's just the bottom
look
room
at
of the
that.
house, effectively,
Cool. So everything from upstairs is patched here through a snake.
Yeah, there's a snake here.
Yep.
And
It's through that Tascam, is it? Is that how it works?
No, this is patched into the analog desk,
Oh, the analog.
and there's
Analog
under the
desk.
staircase here's another bunch of mic lead runs that go up
Yeah.
and into preamps and whatnot.
How are you communicating to upstairs?
There's headphone sends that come down here. This is one of them here. Just these little boxes. There's a few of them
Okay.
scattered around the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the musos down here with headphones, and you know I can just use the talkback. Live mics down here so we can communicate. I don't
Yeah.
have any visual communication like TV screens and videos and all that sort of stuff. It's just audible. But yeah, this room gives me total isolation. So when I'm upstairs monitoring,
Yeah.
I can have a drum kit pounding away down here and actually not hear it, only hear what's coming out the speakers up top. So it gives me an accurate representation of what's going on, you know.
It's pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's reasonably well controlled.
Nice control.
A drum kit sounds really good in here. I have bands
Awesome.
rehearsing in here, so I have full bands playing in here, and we use these wedges
Nice.
over there for vocal foldback and whatnot. And yeah, get some pretty good
Doubles as a
comments
live
from people jamming in here. You know,
rehearsal.
they say it's a pretty good place to practice. You
That's awesome.
know, so that's good.
And nicely, like the neighbours, do they hear much coming out of here? Or?
No. Well, that's the good thing about this room is that wall there and this one over here are external walls. So they're brick and they're filled with concrete. So there's a lot of mass there, and mass stops sound. So they're actually quite good. And on the other side of that wall is just dirt.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
side's
we've
actually
gone underground.
Well, sort of half. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's used to be a window here, but the ground level here is literally about here, and it goes on an angle. There's a bit of a hill behind us there.
I see.
So that wall is underground. That wall there has a huge cavity behind it, and then another wall, and then the garage, and another wall. So nothing gets in or out through there, nothing through there, virtually nothing there. And this wall is all solid. And then this wood is about that thick, solid custom wood. And then there's a cavity behind that, and then the window. So that's kind of separated, and then I've built this thing here, which is a door there, and then behind that is a sliding door that goes to the outside of the house.
That's amazing. So you built all of this,
Yeah, I knocked all this up, yeah.
and this stuff too. On
Yeah,
the ceiling?
pretty much everything here. Even the old speaker bin there, I made that when I was,
that's
I
fantastic.
think I was about 15 years old when I made that.
Yeah.
Which is why it looks so rugged now. It's been through hell.
If you could get some of this stuff on the roof, I mean that's art in itself, in my opinion. But yeah, deflects sound really well. Like I'm completely amazed at the sound of this room. It's awesome.
Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah.
Nah, I love it. This is one of the best live
These
rooms
things
I've
help
seen.
out quite a bit. These absorbers. I've made them self-standing like that, so I can move them around, you know, and manipulate the sound of the place a little bit. I can make a vocal booth with them, or do all kinds of stuff like
This
that.
stuck out actually. Are you using this as a vocal?
Yeah, that's
And this is made by you.
yeah, another DIY. Everything
This
in here is DIY.
awesome. I love this.
Even that thing's
Really,
DIY.
you made this as well?
Yeah, I made that too. Yeah,
You're very good at
made
it.
everything in here.
Excellent, mate.
But this was made from leftover timber from that, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I just use it as a vocal shield. You've probably seen on Trade Me, you can buy those designed.
I've got one.
Yeah, they're quite good, eh?
Yeah, they're good.
So this is my version of that.
Yep. Same concept.
Yeah,
Yep.
works really well. Yeah, it's got
That's
this
cool.
really old school heavy as mic stand that supports it, you know.
Mate,
so you
this
just
is
have to
great.
set the height, you know, and the mic sits here. And
How high can it go?
oh, it's
pretty
high
adjustable.
enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll go right up here.
Yeah.
So
With mine, I had a really short singer come in, and I had to kind of bend.
oh,
It was really weird. So it was like bent this way. Yeah, I didn't
about need to
expect someone that short to come in. So,
you almost need to have a stool ready for that.
yeah.
eh?
So no, what I mean is, this is great that it can start off this short,
yeah,
and then
and it
extend
goes really
up.
high. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome. Lots of nice mic stands, and then this is a fantastic rehearsal room indeed. There's a couple of goodies here.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a few gadgets. There's that's another old Ibanez analog effects thing, like that delay that was upstairs.
Yep.
That's got an analog delay in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat for guitar, that thing. Great for splitting signals. Really cool stereo chorus.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the original effects units that I first started with.
Mm-hmm.
Digitech Studio.
Are these all mics? I see NT 2000 mics.
This is, a bunch of 57s in here.
Yeah, you can never have enough 57.
Yeah, there's a whole pile of them in there. I really like them. And in here
Someone
you've
once
got...
said, if you're going to start out a music studio and you don't have many mics, start off with 10 57s.
Yeah, you can do just about anything with them. I've got
nice.
C1000 in there.
Yep.
B52.
What are you using this one on?
That
guitar or something?
That mainly gets used for ambient kick drum miking.
Kick drum?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's about the only thing I use it for.
really?
I've used it for vocals because they're quite a fat sounding mic. So if you have a female singer that's a little bit thin, this can help fatten her up,
Right, okay. Kick, of course.
Yeah, kick drum, or bass cab.
Yeah.
And then this thing is...
Ooh, is it the K2?
The Rode K2, yeah.
What do you like that on?
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
Everything.
Room
Tube.
mics, vocals,
Yeah.
guitar cabinets, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Do you like the quality of that one?
Yeah, I think it's quite a neat mic, eh? I quite like these NT2000s as well. I've got two of them.
Oh, nice. I love Rode as a manufacturer. I think.
So do I. So do I.
10-year warranty. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Made in Australia.
Made in Aussie, yeah. So they're just made round the corner, yeah.
Yeah, just around the corner.
So there's another NT2000 there.
Yep.
That's a PZM.
Yep.
Kick drum mic. And then you've got a couple of JTM45 shotgun condensers.
Stereo.
These little
And
things.
you're using that on?
Hi-hat. Sometimes a vocal. They're actually surprisingly good for vocals.
Really?
Centre overhead. Yeah. They get a bit of use. They're not my flavour on acoustic guitar. Although some acoustic guitars they work with.
Yeah.
Mainly just hi-hats and cymbal kind of stuff, yeah.
Cool.
There's nothing else, and there's a few more
Couple of
mics on
EQs
stands
and
over
stuff.
there. But then you've got another guitar here.
I love my guitars. What do you got?
That's
PRS.
yeah, it's a Paul Reed Smith. It's got the soap bar pickups on it.
I traded my EC Custom recently. I shouldn't have.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite
that's-
like this. It's quite a neat little unit. It's a short scale. It's even shorter than a Les Paul.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to bend notes and do all that kind of stuff with, but it's got quite a fat sound, quite a rocky sound with the soap bars in it.
Yep.
So that's quite cool, quite like that. And then down here is a Greg Bennett acoustic.
Nice. Yeah, acoustic bass.
Missing a string at the moment. It's tuned to some crazy tuning. Last time it was used, it's detuned pretty seriously at the moment.
That's nice.
But yeah, that's a nice little guitar. So we got that, and then a bunch of mics over there.
Let's have a look.
C451s, a couple of those AKGs for overheads, stuff like that.
Yep.
Another B52 down there.
Other than kick, are B52 is good for anything else?
Yeah, bass cabs.
Bass cabs.
Yeah, bass cabinets.
I don't recognise this logo.
Lewitt LCT 240. I use that for miking the back wall when I have a drum kit here.
That's cool.
The drum kit is basically here.
And it's faced towards the wall?
Towards the wall. I get a reflection off that wall. So I use that for that. It's actually get quite a nice full range capture of the kit, It's quite cool.
Yeah.
And then this thing here, what is this one? This is a little
Lewis
Lewitt
as well.
pencil condenser. Hi-hats or centre overheads. And this is the crazy Bayer Dynamic thing that I have for outside kicks. I don't even know what model it is. It hasn't got it written on there.
Is that a Shaw PG something?
Yeah, that's is it 84 or 94? I can't remember the name of them. Pencil
With the
condenser,
57.
yeah, and that's a 57. That's my hi-hat trick. So
This
use
is your hi-hat trick, right?
yeah,
here?
57 in a condenser.
Interesting.
So that'll be used for hi-hat on Sunday when we do drum sessions in here.
Awesome.
Yeah, what else is there in here? Oh, you've got it over in the corner. There's an old 002 that I use for rehearsals.
Yeah.
So instead of having a mixer, just plug mics and whatnot into the interface. And
Now, like upstairs is awesome, but I honestly think this is my favourite part.
oh wow,
This is awesome.
oh cool.
Loving the live room.
You like my funky red carpet?
Yep, there we go.
So there
the
finally
red
is
room.
some red.
Finally. And you must just naturally like red. Like this is all red. This is all red.
I like I like wood in the
Yeah.
colour red. I like the way that they go
Yeah, no,
together.
it looks beautiful.
That's yeah.
Nice thing.
So there will be more red and more
Yeah.
more finished surfaces in here soon. This is a bit of a work in progress.
Yeah.
All of this stuff up here is my effort at eliminating the slap, you know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bounce between the hard floor and the ceiling that you get in here.
Yeah.
It's obviously not a high ceiling, so you get a lot of floor to ceiling issues in an environment like that. So this is my version of how to deal with that. I first started with these. These are all kind of random.
Yeah. I mean, that's half the reason why I love this room is it's all basically handmade.
Yeah,
A lot of the stuff's handmade.
It's all
And-
reasonably cheap materials,
Yeah.
and it's just been used
I
with
wish
a
I
bit
had
of
the know-how to do
imagination.
that sort of
you know.
thing, because, wow. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for inviting us around your
Sweet, mate.
creative space.
Yeah, cool.
Hope
Thanks
you've
for
enjoyed
coming.
it as much as we have.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're in Hamilton, check out Red Room Audio. They are fantastic. And look at this live room. It, on its own, is amazing. And of course, a great control room as well, and a great engineer. You've heard
Cheers.
some of the stuff that we've played today. It sounds great. So thank you, Dean.
Cool. Cheers, mate.
Awesome. Cheers again.
Awesome.
And remember, guys, stay cool, stay creative. Thanks for watching.